Riverside, California. A massive game tonight. The Western Conference playoff race won't be decided, but a lot more clarity will ensue. Monterey Bay is back at home at Cardinale Stadium, a chance to go above the playoff line for the first time tonight. This match presented by Monterey Touring Vehicles, Monterey Bay, and Phoenix Rising. Mike Watts, Ricky Lopez, Aspen, a look at the Western Conference postseason picture. San Antonio's run away with the #1 seed. The 2 through 4 home playoff games in the first round appear set as well. But 39 points is the mark right now, and Monterey Bay with a win would move above that line. For Phoenix Rising, they have a long way to go, 7 points out with 5 games to go. There's a possibility, but it's getting slimmer by the day.
And it needs to start now for Phoenix Rising and Wangara. The first 15 minutes is going to be critical. How quickly can you get comfortable? How quickly can you get in a rhythm?
Monterey Bay has been in a rhythm now since about July 1st. What a turnaround, staggering.
And he talking to Frank Yallop, he said, look, we had the talent, but we've had injuries, we had illnesses, whatever it may be. You pushed maybe a bit of a formation change. You put Sam Gleadle underneath Valesky, and you're starting to see the talent. Players understand what Frank Yallop is trying to ask of them, and the rewards, the results are coming, and this team is full of confidence at the moment.
And Union have moved just 1 point below the line. Here's their remaining schedule after tonight. It does not get easier, and the travel is going to be very difficult.
And the travel is going to be critical, but if you're Frank Yallop, you know how to deal with it through your experience. You know how to rest players, how to do the rotation, but it's an opportunity for Monterey Bay. You have Miami, you have Las Vegas, you're on the road, and then you have Tampa Bay Rowdies, but it's an opportunity to start now, to get the ball rolling and be confident going ahead into those matches.
All right, meanwhile for Phoenix, Rick Schantz out, in comes Wangara, and the results, they haven't really changed yet, but there's a belief in him that if they get a result tonight, the schedule is favorable.
And there's a belief because you see the talent that he has on display at his disposal. You see J.J. Williams get on the score sheet, Santimo, Arturo Rodriguez. When these guys get going, they see the ball hit the back of the net. This is a whole different Phoenix Rising team, and it's a massive opportunity tonight.
And notably, J.J. Williams is available tonight. His red card got overturned. Familiar faces in a number of ways. Monterey Bay and Phoenix Rising, it's a lot different than when they met in March. Tonight's match presented by Monterey Touring Vehicles, and it's coming up next.
Coastal Roots Hospitality is a proud partner of the Monterey Bay Football Club. Coastal Roots Events and Catering, along with its 3 iconic restaurants, Montrio, Tarpe's, and Rio Grill, invite you to pick it up and pay it forward, where 10% of all proceeds from takeout orders are donated to various local charities. Their catering service and restaurants utilize local farms, butcheries, and ocean-fresh, sustainability-driven seafood to deliver unique and exemplary dining experiences. For more information, visit coastalrootshospitality.com.
Monterey Bay, could they go above the playoff line tonight? Can Phoenix inch ever closer to turning this thing around before they hit the iceberg? Cardinale Stadium in Seaside. Frank Yallop, the new boss is the old boss, some would say. Here's a look at the lineup he's assembled. No changes, and in this form, not a surprise.
You just see that front line. You have Valesky being the focal point. You have Dawkins on the left, Boone on the right, but it's really Gleadle. Gleadle is going to be a person that's going to test the shape of Phoenix Rising. Look for him to run in behind, and you have Murphy and Fair dictating tempo, pulling the strings. Really talented starting 11 for Frank Yallop.
4 goals the last 3 games for Gleadle in the number 10 role. Meanwhile, for Phoenix, Wangara has also made no changes. They haven't scored in a little while. But he does feel like this group has goals in him. They just need to see one hit the net.
Yeah, you just need to see one. You have Santi Moore, you have Rodriguez playing underneath J.J. Williams. You have Jai and Darnell King working up and down on their respective sides. You have Musa, Lambert, and Sargis need to be very good at passing players up, have a lot of communication to keep a clean sheet. And for Juan Guerra, you need Sejas and Quinn on the ball early and often.
You see J.J. Williams there. The disciplinary committee for the USL Championship overturned his red card upon appeal. Coming off the field once he was shown red by the referee for an incident that was later deemed to have not have occurred. Juan Guerra walked to him and said, "You will play in the game against Monterey Bay. Don't make a scene. Go to the locker room. We'll handle this." They did. He's back, and he's ready to roll tonight. Can Phoenix hang around the playoff picture just a little bit longer? Can Monterey Bay move into the playoff picture for the first time? We're underway at Cardinale Stadium in Seaside. And Gleedle rolling this across, asking questions. Simon Dawkins arriving on the scene. Crisp and kelp jerseys tonight for Monterey Bay. And it's gold for a good cause tonight for Phoenix Rising. They continue to wear these jerseys to raise money for pediatric cancer research in support of Phoenix Children's Hospital. Ball ushered over the top of Chase Boone and away from Moar.
You already see a minute in, just a movement on the front end from Gleedle and Boone. Able to swap. One stays centrally, one stays wide, and then you have Lesky playing as a focal point, dictating the tempo and occupying the center backs of Phoenix Rising.
Boone trying to get after that. Well, there's appeals going all directions right now. Did that catch an arm? Whose arm was it? There was the boot extended into the air, and the referee is already being tasked with figuring this all out.
I think there's an argument to be had. Boone comes in from Jay Musa. You can just see having his studs exposed. I don't think there's much in there at first look. It's very difficult with the angles that we were provided.
There's Frank Yallop. That's, I believe, a sugar-free Red Bull that he's working on. His first season as Monterey Bay head coach, but he took over the club in the lead up to building it, so his second year in totality, club's first year on the field. Important to see Lambert back up because he just got called into the Jamaican national team again for the upcoming international window. And with all the change around the Reggae boys, every chance to impress is critical. Let's go skip away from Jai.
It's going to be really interesting if you're Monterey Bay and Frank Gallup. How do you pin back Jai and King? Make that back line of 5. That's going to give space for Dawkins and Boone in those half pockets to really operate in. So if you're Robinson and Donor, you want to get on the attacking half and make those wing backs defend for Juan Guerra.
Siaha, the 24-year-old from Tucson, drives it forward toward Valesky. King. Sejas looking to take over, and back to Siaha again. Played in NAIA, Ottawa University and Benedictine University after a stint at Cal State Bakersfield. And he's not going to be tested in this instance, but Grant Robinson has to put that out. And Phoenix, the aggressor in this moment.
And it's going to be very important that Sejas and Aiden Quinn in the middle of the field for Phoenix Rising are confident. They understand the spaces to pick up between the lines of Monterey Bay. You need to get Santi Moar and Rodriguez in those half pockets between lines. Those are so special players for Juan Guerra, and he requires so much of those number 10s underneath J.J. Williams.
A lot of contact in there. There's the corner. Siaha came for it. The look across. That was met by Donor. Drops down to Valesky. Phoenix said this cannot be a foot race tonight. Juan Guerra told us that does not end well for his side. Bit ironic considering the team that he left a year ago to become the head coach in Oakland. Foot races, track races used to be their MO. Monterey Bay is lethal as this league can provide this year in transitional moments. Jai bounces off of Robinson. Jai won a free kick. Moby Fair commits the foul.
It's really good work here from Jai just to skip away for Robinson. Your Moby Fair, you have to give credit to Santi Moore as he peels off. He makes a decision. Does he go with the runner? Does he stay with the ball? It's a silly foul to give up. And that man's going to be waiting for a goal here. We're asking a question of Siaha.
There's Juan Guerra, left the Oakland Roots job, which he had taken at the end of December last year, mid-season, to try and turn this Phoenix team around. Rodriguez all the way through and out beyond the back post. Musa went charging through.
And those are always difficult for a goalkeeper if you're Siaha. No one touches it. You run the risk of it just sneaking into that far post. If you're in the Phoenix Rising jersey, you need to do anything you can. Get on your bike to get on the end of that. Brilliant little ball in from Arturo Rodriguez.
Are you suggesting a physical bicycle, or are you asking for a backflip?
A backflip, I would like that.
Well, okay. Malik Badawi is the referee, lifts his hand up, and it belongs to Phoenix in this moment. Overcooked that for Jai. Well, you listen to Frank Yallop talk about this Monterey Bay side right now, and you get the feeling he knows that nothing has really been accomplished yet. But about 2 months ago, he told us something to the effect of all the red cards, all the injuries, COVID, maybe a tactical tweak or two. If we can get some of this right, we're not going to be such a bad team. I asked him where they are now, and he said, no, we're not a bad team. They might even be pretty good.
I mean, whenever you score 5 goals on an in the 11 side that was informed that we're doing extremely well, you're always going to feel the confidence. You know, it was really interesting saying, I like Sam Gleadle. I liked him playing on the wing, but just put him underneath Valesky and just see what he can do.
There he goes. This ball sliced over the 6 and out. That's a look at what Gleadle can do. He sucked everybody in, dished it off, and Monterey had 3 blue shirts running forward.
He just gives this side just a different dynamic going forward. The understanding that he requires so much attention and the unselfishness just to pull us into the path of Dawkins. And once again, it's a brilliant ball in from Dawkins. If Valesky just hanging around that far post, it's an easy tap in. But again, you can just see how explosive Sam Gleadle is from a deep line position, able to create something out of nothing just with his pure will, and how explosive he is in breaking through lines.
Throw from Musa. Roberts is going to run that down. Siaha's going to scoop it up. Monterey Bay center back pairing has been pretty much decided from day one. It's been a little different here for Phoenix. What do you think of the moves to have not only Musa, who sort of transitioned into that role a couple of years ago, as this is through, and this is onside, and this is laid across Valesky! They've been beaten over the top. The live standings for the first time would show Monterey Bay in playoff position. Goal number 51 for Valesky. And Gleadle created it. 1-0 Monterey Bay.
And we've been talking about it all night in this open. You put Sam Gleadle underneath Valesky, let him run, let Valesky occupy the center backs, and it causes nightmares for opposition. As Gleadle gets in behind the Phoenix Rising back line, very unselfish. Brings in Lutz, dishes it off to Valesky. Easy tap in for that man right there to give Monterey Bay a dream start. 10 minutes in, 1-0.
Gleadle's second assist. Valesky, his 6th goal of the year. jaw-dropping.
Just slow in rotation, that back line for Phoenix Rising. Do you understand? The Sam Gleedle is a bit deeper. It's going to be extremely hard to play the offside trap. You have to drop in, you have to read the flight of the ball, the player that's on the ball, and the runner. It's very slow. It needs to be better for Phoenix Rising. That's why you see yourself down 1-0 within 10 minutes on the road.
Well, there's a potential head injury here. Unclear what happened off the ball there. There's Valesky. They had trouble getting his certificate in, his international transfer certificate at the outset of the year, and he finally gets into the team. Then he gets hurt. If you've followed this league for a long time, you remember him all the way back to trialing in Rochester for Bob Lilly. Going to the 2015 championship final and winning it all. And a winding road since. Let's see if we can get a better idea of what happened here. Collision of heads.
I think this ball's going over Chase Boone. He tries to flick it on and catches Jai. Good to see him. And there's that header. It's that extended of the right arm that catches Jai right above the eye. That's good to see him on his own feet, on his own power.
Monterey Bay is going to send this back here. They have one possession of it, so they'll hold on here. Jai returns. Ball bounced up off of Quinn, who won a free kick. I was intrigued ahead of the goal, and maybe that's changed the response, but putting Lambert into that center back role that he's a bit unfamiliar with, in theory, offensively, it can make you a much more powerful team if you get those center backs on the ball and let them pick things apart. But it also leaves you with a couple of less experienced defenders.
And talking to Juan Guerra, said, yeah, I want ball playing center backs. And yes, we see Lambert, we've seen Musa play primarily in the middle of the field as that double pivot, lone pivot, whatever you want to call it. But it's going to be completely different playing in that back line. Yes, you're able to unlock teams when they're high pressing, and that's what Juan Guerra wants. He wants to get on the ball. He wants to play attack-minded football. He wants to play on our possession behalf. But then you leave yourself exposed like what just happened, unable to read the flight, unable to track the runner from a deep line position, and leaves yourself vulnerable. And then that just comes through experience. You understand the combination play, the communication. As one steps, one drops. It was just lacking there on that goal, and that's why you see Valesky getting on the end of it.
Well, and to his point, when we spoke to him this week, he said, fast, physical, read the game, pass, ability to pass through lines and play 30, 40-yard balls. Those are extraordinarily expensive players to have at center back. Those don't grow on trees. Play's going to come back. Dawkins won an advantage. They'll plant that Select ball. They're celebrating their 75th anniversary. Select, proud to be the official match ball supplier. The USL Championship. Choose what you play with at selectsportamerica.com. Select, league's choice, player's choice. Valesky pressing. Didn't quite get to Lambert. We've got Sargis back there as well. Moar. Jai. Tries to round Donor. Net by Boone. And up the line. It goes down. Penalty. Neither of these teams had won a penalty all season long. They're the only team in the league not to take a penalty. That changes right now.
And just comes through the rotation in the middle of the field. City Moore pushes in. Jai does extremely well, and then it's always a difficult situation if you're Donor. The left arm on the shoulder of Jai gives it referee decision. It is a bit harsh, to be fair, but hey, that extension always gets you in trouble. But give credit to Jai, the relationship between him and Santi Moar. As one pushes in, one stays out wide, it really puts a lot of pressure on the back line of Monterey Bay.
Monterey Bay has stopped 0 of 6 penalties taken against them this year. Aiden Quinn could potentially turn the tide of the rising season right here. Quinn, never in doubt, right down the middle. Phoenix level a quarter hour in.
Very confident PK here from Aiden Quinn. Cool, calm, collected, as he says. See how the wrong way elects to go down the middle. Never wasn't down, like you said, Mike. You want your leader, and there he is right there. Heartbeat of this team.
Wow. 2 massive twists early, and Phoenix has finally scored. 307 minutes without a goal. 3 full games. And maybe that broke the ice. Away from Gleedle, seeking Donor.
Now it's all about the reaction for both teams. Phoenix Rising, you know Monterey Bay is going to want to go route one. Flick on through Valesky, through Gleedle. Bone's going to get on the ball a bit more. So it's a big emphasis on the middle players in the middle of the field, whether it's Sejas, whether it's Quinn, to help out this back three. You can't let that real estate in for Gleedle to get on the ball in the half turn and drive at your back line. If you're one gear, you're going to want Sejas and Quinn on the ball as well. Get Santi Moar involved. He's been extremely quiet 17 minutes into this game. Rodriguez, JJ Willen barely has any touches. Those are players that you need to be confident on the ball early and often.
Rodriguez had his pocket picked, and that's turned over awkwardly right to Jai. Jai finally ran out of steam. Roberts away. Quinn, his 6th goal of the season, after Valesky bagged his 6th. You know, if you're Phoenix, right now it doesn't really feel like anything's going your way. But let's say this, you go to Sacramento, that's a very tough game. Host Red Bull, at RGV, a chance to make good on last year's playoff exit, and then home against Atlanta. Ball ahead for Valesky, and that's calm from Ben Loon. The schedule is there to make you think maybe Phoenix has a miracle up their sleeve.
It's something that we talked to on Garrett about. And look, you have these games coming up. What are your overall thoughts on them? He said, look, he needs to start right now. He needs to start against this road, against Monterey Bay, and then we'll worry about the next ones. You always have that sense of belief when talking to Juan Guerra, that he believes in his players, that he says, look, we have so much talent at my disposal. I know one game we can turn this thing around, and like you said, like maybe we speak into the playoffs on the last day. You can't put it by. You can never write off this Phoenix Rising side.
Not that he'd ever want to sign me, or potentially you at this stage. But you do feel like you can understand why players gravitate to him, and why in Oakland he quickly became so revered. Well, it was from his time as an assistant coach in Phoenix. Rolled outside, Donor. Donor curling. Clearance and Sejas in pursuit, taken back on the foot of Gleedle. Rolled up, Boone deflects. Clearance sends Moar on the run.
And it's these second balls that are extremely critical for Monterey Bay. They're able to win those balls on top of that 18-yard box. They have a second phase on their attacking game. On the other hand, Sejas and Quinn need to drop down and do their defensive duties, far too easily getting beat time after time.
Ball ricochets off of Gleedle. And down the left-hand side, into the penalty area, and ripped across and in! He's resurrected his career in Monterey. Grant Robinson's first of the year. 2-1, Monterey Bay.
And this is simple stuff, doing at a very high level, up, back, and through. It's Dawkins back to Murphy, and then Robinson in the attacking third, looking like a striker. How composed he is, just passes it into that far post. Nothing Luth can do. And if you're Frank Gallup, you have to be extremely pleased. Talking about pattern play, something that works on throughout the week in training, comes to fruition during game day. It's 2-1 within the 21st minute from Monterey Bay at home.
This game suddenly has all the feels of one of those after dark desperation kind of games. There's the trigger, rolled away by Lund. 95 saves, that's most for a rising player, but it's still behind Arizona United's record, the previous iteration of the franchise, Carl Wazinski. I'm sure Phoenix fans hope Lund doesn't get anywhere near that record. It's 130 saves in a year. Bangs off a Quinn, and it's going the other way. I think Phoenix might have a point here. Quinn throws his arm up. Handball. Contact, referee says play on. And the yellow card. Rodriguez is asking the AR.
Yellow card has been issued to Phoenix. Number 10.
Yeah, this is definitely USL Championship after dark. Arturo Rodriguez, first player in the book tonight. Rolled ahead, Donor. Giant his wake. Donor, Valesky, denied Lute. Major inflection point save from Ben Lute.
And once again, it's far too easy for Monterey Bay just to skip by this Phoenix Rising back line and defensive unit. Sayhouse and Quinn are caught way too high. And Donor, I think he's caught between two lines.
Given away again. Gleedle. Boone. Valesky. Looking for Gleedle. Appeal for a handball. Rightfully waved off by Malik Badawi. Dawkins swings inside Gleedle. Back to Dawkins. Dawkins, end line. Off the boards, corner. And it could have been a third for Monterey Bay a moment ago. You pay Ben Lute for moments like this.
You just see it's a 4v3 going back the other way. I think Donor's caught between two minds as he played into the path of Valesky. But give credit to Lute. He comes out big, comes out strong. He closes down the angle. And then here's a shot for the handball. Don't think there's much in there from Valesky. Once again, if you're Juan Guerra, you need to clean up that middle third. You're getting beat far too easy.
Corner, Monterey Bay. Musa. Gleedle. Let that run in front of him. Contact, free kick.
Slow to close down for Phoenix Rising. And Gleedle, his first touch, to be fair, is extremely heavy. Gets away from him, but he feels the contact from Santi Moar. He's always going to go down. Very clever play from Sam Gleedle. Another opportunity runs off this 18-yard box to test that man. Man Loons has been terrific for Phoenix Rising.
Now would be a great time for Loon's 97th save. It'll be Green or Fair. Kai Green. Arturo Rodriguez. Now toward Moar, taken on the first time. Off the chest, rather, of Murphy.
You just feel the confidence for Monterey Bay. First to every second ball, the willingness, getting outworking Phoenix Rising at the moment. It all comes down to the middle of the field between Murphy and Fair, Quinn and Sejas. And so far, for Frank Gallup, you have to be extremely pleased.
Bounces back to Loon. Two of the top teams in the East will meet on Friday. Memphis 901 FC travels to Louisville City FC. Both sides looking to secure the top spot in the conference. Don't miss a minute. USL on ESPN Deportes continues Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. And you'll see it live in English on ESPN+. Ball through. Loon. Is this a high line from Phoenix, or is this a poorly managed line from Phoenix?
Both. Loons has come off his line 2-3 times already to save his back line. There has to be a point in time, if you're Musa, if you're Lambert or Sargis, you have to drop off. You can't be getting beat too easy. This Aiden Quinn and Sejas are getting caught way too high. You can just see the gap between lines right there. Gleedle has about 10 yards of real estate just to get the ball in a half turn once again. You have to be able to read the play in front of you. You drop off, give the runners in about a 10-yard gap so you don't get beat by pace. We continue to keep this line. You're going to see Gleedle, you're going to see Valesky, you're going to see Dawkins, Boone, having numerous of 1v1s between them and Ben Loon.
Valesky, Fair, Dawkins, Gleedle, Robinson on the overlap, Moby Fair, Murphy, Valesky returns Dawkins. Rodriguez couldn't hang on.
And it's another example of just the press, the counter press from Monterey Bay. As they turn this ball over, there's 3 players in a blue jersey surrounding Arturo Rodriguez, not letting him get out. And it's been the story of this match, 29 minutes in.
Jai. Cranks that off of Kai Green. Caught Jai on the way out. You heard 2 thumps of the ball. Monterey Bay has won 3 in a row, and that goalkeeper, Siaha, big reason why. Only conceded 1 goal in that span. Quinn scored from the spot in the 15th minute. Valesky in the 9th. Those 2, not really a surprise. Grant Robinson, quite the opposite in the 20th. That's the go-ahead. The foul. Won by King. Frank Yallop led Arizona United into the Phoenix Rising era. The time Burke Bakai would call it tumbleweeds to rough and tumble, that stadium that they built. And eventually they've navigated out the Wild Horse Pass. Frank Yallop said he's always had a soft spot in his heart for this Phoenix side. He did celebrate the 5 good years that Rick Schantz had. Recognized sometimes it's just time. Juan Guerra taking over this group, trying to avoid what would be a miserable conclusion to a tremendous run of playoff appearances. Dating back to 2017, another free kick for Phoenix. This may be their best one yet.
This is when Rodriguez is at his best. The combination play, how quick he is around the corners, how slippery he is in between the pockets. Good interchange between him and Musa. Feels a contact, he goes down. No, it's a brilliant opportunity for Phoenix Rising. Good distance to go up and over the wall.
By the way, Yallop acknowledged, I was there when there were 300 fans at a baseball stadium. Very different universe that Phoenix Rising lives in. Quinn Rodriguez put in play. Lambert on the run. He's not going to win that race. And a golf shot down the line. There's consternation among the fan base right now. Meanwhile, this Monterey Bay side could have gotten quite discouraged at the outset of this season. Year one, they have to go on the road. They don't have a field ready. They don't have a locker room yet. They finally arrived home, and it looked like their season could have been in the gutter. And instead, what a turnaround they've orchestrated from 1-6 all the way to what currently, if this scoreline holds, would be a playoff position. The throw for Musa. Jai. Quinn. Sargis. King. Rodriguez. Moar. Kept by Musa. Quinn.
He's the best passenger play for Phoenix Rising. The ball circulation. Moments ago, you see Santimore popping up right underneath Jai. His first touch lets him down, but those are the spots that you want him, Rodriguez, to pick up. Players that play between the lines are so crafty, can beat you through combination play, can beat you through individual brilliance. So if you're Monterey Bay, if you're Murphy, Fair, you have to be whereabouts and have the rotation to shift over and close down those spaces so you don't get beaten by Santimore and Rodriguez.
Jai. Able to keep it in, slashed down by Moar. Maybe Moar is coming alive late in the season. Two assists since Juan Guerra took over. It's been quiet thus far tonight, 7 in gold. And that's what's interesting in some ways. Orange County is beneath Phoenix in the standings right now, obviously won the title last year. And for all the players that either through injury or availability or transfers out or new players that didn't fit, at least Olowski dropped 20 goals. Someone played to potential. Sort of felt like for Phoenix, no one really reached their potential this year. Which is the most staggering thing, to see all 11, a lot of nights feel like they just couldn't get it going. Ball floated along. Not there either, and out to Gleedle. Don't miss a minute of the action in 2022, whether your club is on the road or at home. Catch nearly every second of the USL Championship season on ESPN Plus, the home, the USL Championship, USL League One, MLS, La Liga, Bundesliga, UFC, and more. Sign up today, plus.espn.com.
You start to see Phoenix Rising getting their footing now, on the ball a bit more, advancing James Musa. Just gives you a different dynamic in the back line. If you're able to spray passes, it pulls out, whether it's Boone, whether it's Gleedle, out of position and opened up space like this.
There goes King. Moar.
Those are situations where you want Santi Moar popping up. Good recognition from Darnell King as he pushes down to the byline. It's so difficult for a defensive unit to defend those cutback balls. Santi Moar is going to want this one back. He just skips up on him, puts it over the bar.
As if the ball was on a string. Fair, make sure it doesn't go the other way. Sprayed ahead to Gleedle. Boone. Boone attacks. Tees this up, deflects away Murphy. Murphy again. Out to Dawkins. Dawkins touching across, seeking Valesky. Robinson pushes inside again. Out to Murphy. Over Dawkins, Robinson stayed forward. Gleedle, Dawkins, Donor. Jai, maybe a little rope-a-dope there with Boone. Jai has been all gas, no brakes in this game. Moar, Jai. It's been a little bit slick here tonight for some of these Phoenix players who may be a little less familiar with the surface.
You see how fast the ball's moving. Artificial turf here. When it's wet, great ball.
Moar, Jai. Jai trots in, crossing, trying to settle. Green, penalty again! Can you believe this? Not a penalty all year for Phoenix. 2 in the first half. And Monterey Bay is staring down the barrel of an 8th penalty against them this year. They haven't stopped a single one.
And once again, it's just a rotation on the left-hand side, Santi Moar. Inside, Jai outside. And as this touch gets away from Rodriguez, I think it's the left arm that catches from Kai Green, then catches Arturo Rodriguez, and he goes down. Again, I think it's a very harsh PK to call against his Monterey back line. You have to give credit once again to Arturo Rodriguez. He feels any sort of contact in and around that 18-yard box. He goes down, it goes to his favor.
Quinn went low and down the middle first time. And Siahat drove to the far post. Armchair psychology between these two now. They meet for the second time in 25 minutes from the spot. Quinn to equalize again. He has. Phoenix level.
Goal Phoenix, number 14.
And once again, a touch of class for Maiden Quinn as he opens up his hips. He closes them at the last second. Sends Siaha the wrong way, and it lets it go to his near post. There's no stopping that to draw this game even. It's always a mental battle when you take 2 PKs in a game. Maiden Quinn just came up on top both times.
Quinn in the 40th and the 15th. Goals 6 and 7 of the year. So often Aiden Quinn leads by example, and with the season ostensibly hanging in the balance tonight, again, no one was getting eliminated by this result, but especially for Phoenix, this feels like a pseudo do or die. Having to go to Sacramento next. You could see your season end with 3 games to go, but if they win tonight, all of a sudden things look a lot more plausible. For Monterey Bay, they move below the playoff line on goal difference again with this result. Service, bouncing, clearance, Lambert. Dawkins kept it, Murphy slid that through brilliantly. Donor crossing with a deflection. Skids out for a corner.
And Murphy's finding a really good spot right on top of this 18-yard box. There has to be a moment in time when this Phoenix Rising back line or midfield line needs to realize that, needs to close that down. He's dictating tempo far too easy, spraying the ball from left to right, having goes on goal. Again, brilliant reaction from Monterey Bay going down as this game goes into the ball goes into the back of the net and fight back into this game.
That's Jai down again. One wonders what the plan is here for Jai after this. By the way, there wasn't a trade made. There are not a lot of trades at this stage of the year. It doesn't affect that defensive position. It was actually up front. Claudio Repetto got traded to Miami. It was announced, I believe, this morning. It's been a long day, Ricky. It's been a really long day. Striker came in from Charleston over the offseason. 5 games left for Miami. If he competes in all of them, he'd be eligible for the playoffs. Miami's already qualified. Ball ping back post. Seeking Green. First header's away. Turning shot. Fair. Kept out. Now finish. Valesky. He's done it again. Phoenix is leaking goals. Monterey Bay proudly obliges. Monterey Bay 3, Phoenix 2.
And part of it being a striker is being in the right spot at the right time. The inability to clear this ball for Phoenix Rising bites them. But talk about fair, how difficult this is to get your body around. Reaction save from Ben Lute. But it's that man once again. Valesky, a striker's goal, a poacher's goal. You can see as it pinballs around, he's there to clean it up at the doorstep to get his brace in this first half. Moby Fair makes this look a lot easier than it is to bring it down with traffic around you, get your hips around and put it on target, cause chaos in front of Lute. And that man right there, poacher's goal right before halftime.
Well, Phoenix has had a response. twice over. Could this possibly stay in at the corner flag? King did. When the wheels fell off at New Mexico, and there's a lot about that game. But King was the one who carried the load. Valesky, a yellow card to go with his 2 goals in the first half. But a massive effort play there from King. Phoenix is yet to let off the gas, trying to pursue a 3rd equalizer tonight.
And it's his ball that breaks through and takes out about 4 Phoenix Rising players that forces the hand of Musa to come up. Valesky just skips away so cleverly. And now it's going to be a big challenge for James Musa in the back line of Phoenix Rising. On a yellow card, the willing runners around him needs to be extremely disciplined in his positioning and the challenges that he goes into.
Well, we've found the game of the night in the championship, make no doubt about that. Earlier this evening in the East, Detroit and New York finished scoreless. That game has major implications for hosting in the playoffs. Loudoun beat Hartford, which I guess was monumental for Loudoun. First win in 12 tries against Hartford Athletic. Tab got tagged with his first loss. But this was the game everyone had circled, and for good reason. 3 minutes remaining of the 4 stoppage time in the first half. Jai again, Donor, corner.
And the bright spot for Juan Garrett has been on this left-hand side. The relationship between Cincy Mower and Jai. It's always difficult when you play with 3 players in the back. You have a wing back versus the hand of the opposition outside back. In this case, it's Donor. Does he stay with Cincy Mower? Pinched in. Does he go with the run of Jai? Very good fluidity on this left-hand side for Juan Garrett's boys.
Service across, that's cleared, another corner. Whoa, there was more in that after the fact from Valesky, who's on a yellow card. He's saying there was an elbow at him. Valesky's gonna have to walk a tightrope from here. Let's see if we can get a better idea of the mix-up between Williams and Valesky here.
Yeah, he needs to be a lot smarter there. Christian Valesky not hiding that one, plain sight.
Look, was it hugely malicious? No, but on a yellow card,
exactly,
why?
Exactly.
Ball across, that got cleared. We're being told it was misidentification on the earlier Valesky yellow card. So it wasn't Valesky who was carded. Being told it went the other way on Musa. At some point, I'd probably like to lay my eyes on again. Nevertheless, that's going to get out. That's a corner. Last set piece, inability to clear. Monterey Bay squeeze one more over the line. They've whistled this dead. A free kick. Halftime. Take a breath. 3-2 Monterey Bay at the break.
If you're Juan Garrett, your main thing is just playing out of the back, middle field. You need to dictate tempo. Sejas and Quinn need to drop down and help relieve some of the pressure. You're Frank Gallup. You have to be a bit smarter defending in your own 18-yard box. You have to keep on going. Dawkins, Glito, Boone, Velasquez having their way with this defensive unit of Phoenix Rising. Get Murphy and Fair on the ball. Keep pumping balls in, making those back three face and chase their own goal. That's when they're all sorts of discombobulated. So all to play for this next 45 minutes. Really interesting to see the tactical changes both coaches do.
Well, Monterey Bay get 3 goals out of this first half. They lead on 3 separate occasions, and they bring that lead into the locker room. Tonight's halftime is presented by Integris Wealth Management. Monterey Bay 3, Phoenix 2.
In 2007, a group of local business owners realized a dream by establishing First Capital Bank. We cultivate thriving communities by growing and sustaining businesses on the Central Coast. As we celebrate 15 years, our commitment to personalized service remains unwavering. And we continue to give back to our communities. Experience First Capital Bank.
Welcome back to the halftime presented by Integris Wealth Management. Finally, a chance to sit down and, I don't know, have a sip. Just relax. 3-2 Monterey Bay over Phoenix at halftime. Mike and Ricky. All right, we're at that point where we're starting to parse out how many points can you get and what does this look like. If the scoreline holds, Monterey Bay is 2 points above the playoff line. That's their schedule. Think about this. Monterey Bay, not the easiest place in the universe to get a flight to Miami. You get back, and then you got to play on the Tuesday at Vegas, and then you welcome the Rowdies. Then you finish 2 on the road, and dare I say, RGV is not the easiest place to get to. None of this is simple.
And you look at the table, you're looking at RGV, you're looking at Las Vegas, teams that are right around you as well. You're ending the season at RGV. What could that mean for Frank Gallup and the boys? And I think, obviously, you alluded to, Mike, the travel is going to be massive. So if you want a coach that knows how to deal with, that knows how to keep your players fresh, that has the experience, it's going to be Frank Gallup. So that's going to be massive for this side.
Yeah, RGV, by the way, HEB Park, place where maybe playoff dreams go to die.
Yep.
Here's what remains for Phoenix. They've got 4 left. If you get a result tonight and you get a result against Sacramento, that looks really manageable, all things considered.
And it's something that Juan Garrett pointed out to us on our call with him earlier this week. Said, Cup final here tonight, Cup final at Sacramento, and then on paper, obviously games are not won. On paper, we should be able to take care of New York Red Bull, Atlanta United too, and then you go to RGV once again, playoff hopes going to die there, and maybe, you never know. But again, you're Phoenix Rising, you have to fancy yourself and be able to walk out of here with the result and sack.
Yeah, let's not forget, Wilmer Cabrera's side is the one who's currently holding that playoff spot coming into the night, and Oakland is hanging around too. They don't even have to go to Edinburgh. Integris Wealth Management halftime. We just managed all that wealth. Monterey Bay 3, Phoenix 2. First half highlights, look around the league and more coming up.
I'm on that routine. I'm on that routine.
Topics. I mean, yeah. Let's talk about
Stop
you know
it.
what today where I'm going to go topics.
Roll it down. I am.
You don't need a car to listen to Sirius XM. You can listen anywhere. You know that, right?
What? Kevin Hart's Laugh Out Loud Radio.
Kevin, you could use your phone.
What? What?
Alexa, play Kevin Hart's Laugh Out Loud Radio on Sirius XM.
What?
This is how I know you're getting old. I guess that was it.
What?
Louisville City grabs the lead. And there's a goal. Right on cue. Wilson Harris sends this place into a frenzy.
Knocks it into the back of the net, and 901 FC's got the lead.
The goal! What a thing of beauty! You could not have drawn that up any better.
Coastal Roots Hospitality is a proud partner of the Monterey Bay Football Club. Coastal Roots Events and Catering, along with its 3 iconic restaurants, Monterey, Tarpe's, and Rio Grill, invite you to pick it up and pay it forward, where 10% of all proceeds from takeout orders are donated to various local charities. Their catering service and restaurants utilize local farms, butcheries, and ocean fresh sustainability-driven seafood to deliver unique and exemplary dining experiences. For more information, visit coastalrootshospitality.com.
The USL Championship playoffs presented by Hisense are now just 1 month away. Halftime is presented by Integris Wealth Management. Monterey Bay leads Phoenix 3-2. Mike and Ricky, let's take a look at the playoff update. The East is done. I mean, like, there's seating to be figured out, but like it's the 7.
Now it's about who's host who, who's going to travel where, and that's all about booking your travel plans in the West. That's a completely different story there, Mike.
I'm baffled. San Antonio and San Diego are in. Colorado Springs is on the verge. Everyone else is alive.
That's insane. Incredible.
The final will be November 13th. Playoffs start again exactly 1 month from today. If they started today, based on the results coming into today, this is what the Western Conference bracket would look like. San Antonio would earn the bye. San Diego RGV, Phoenix fans are like, be careful, San Diego. It's not as simple as it looks. That Sacramento-El Paso game, really intriguing to me.
That one's going to be very intriguing if it would happen. And then you have the Switchbacks hosting New Mexico United. And the Switchbacks, some news maybe roaming around in that squad.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah, me too. I mean, who knows?
Yeah, how about that? Here's what the East would look like right now. Don't forget, Louisville plays Memphis Friday night, ESPN Deportes, ESPN Plus, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 Pacific, 1v2. They're 5 points apart now. Louisville wins that game. That 6-pointer probably seals the number 1 seed, and then they're chasing San Antonio. Detroit, Tampa Bay. Detroit just beat the Rowdies.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting, but this time they'll go to Al Lang. How does that look like? And then you have Legion. What last year never happened.
Yeah.
Obviously, Bob Lilly's side traveling there, and then you have Miami and Memphis. That would be an interesting one as well.
Say it.
Miami's taking that one. I would put money on Miami.
He's calling the upset. How many goals is Claudio Repetto scoring in that game? That's what the East looks like coming into the night. Playoffs this year presented by Hisense, and they're just a month away. Will either of these teams be there when it's all said and done? Monterey Bay right now are above the line. First half highlights, and there are a lot of them. Second half kick coming up.
In 2007, a group of local business owners realized a dream by establishing First Capital Bank. We cultivate thriving communities by growing and sustaining businesses on the Central Coast. As we celebrate 15 years, our commitment to personalized service remains unwavering. And we continue to give back to our communities. Experience First Capital Bank.
Coastal Roots Hospitality is a proud partner of the Monterey Bay Football Club. Coastal Roots Events and Catering, along with its 3 iconic restaurants, Monterey, Tarpe's, and Rio Grill, invite you to pick it up and pay it forward, where 10% of all proceeds from takeout orders are donated to various local charities. Their catering service and restaurants utilize local farms, butcheries, and ocean-fresh, sustainability-driven seafood to deliver unique and exemplary dining experiences. For more information, visit coastalrootshospitality.com.
In 2007, a group of local business owners realized a dream by establishing First Capital Bank. We cultivate thriving communities by growing and sustaining businesses on the Central Coast. As we celebrate 15 years, our commitment to personalized service remains unwavering, and we continue to give back to our communities. Experience First Capital Bank.
Halftime is presented by Integris Wealth Management, and our match this evening is presented by Monterey Touring Vehicles. 3-2 at halftime. Let's take you through all the highlights, and there's a lot of them. They're almost all goals. They might all be goals. Let's start in the 9th minute of play. Monterey Bay starting out of the back. This would ultimately find Christian Valesky up front.
And just a matter of the pure running from Sam Glito from a deep line position, testing the shape of Phoenix Rising that back line. No one picks him up. Easy ball across, and Valesky gets his first on the night.
And then Phoenix goes, finally, a call goes our way. Down goes Jai, wins the first penalty for Rising all year.
And it's that left arm from Donor that goes over Jai, and Aiden Quing steps up very calmly, just pushes it down the middle of the field, sends Siaha the wrong way. And then it's all about the reaction for Monterey Bay. They were the first every second ball. They were winning that midfield batter up, back, and through. This is pattern play at its finest from Frank Yala's boy. And then it's the outside back, Robinson, getting to the final third. Classy finish from the outside back to get his first on the year.
And then, minutes later, down goes Rodriguez. Green can't believe it. It's another penalty.
And again, it's that left arm from Kai Green that catches Arturo Rodriguez. Maybe it's soft, maybe it's not, but that man does not care. He puts the ball in the back of the net. Cool, calm, collected. And once again, the reaction from Monterey Bay, the inability to clear this ball from Phoenix Rising is going to frustrate Wangera. Moby Fair does extremely well to put it on target, but it's a striker doing what a striker does, puts the ball in the back of the net to get his brace right before halftime.
Phoenix has more of the ball. Union, as expected, tried to make this a track meet. When they did, they were vicious.
And Phoenix Rising, they were on the ball a lot, especially in the middle of field, but they were unable to really ask questions of Monterey Bay and that back line. It's all been left to right, back. They're not really threatening Siaha, Roberts, Kai Green. You need to get on the ball and be possession and have a purpose for that. If you're Monterey Bay, keep testing, keep running in behind, get Murphy, get Fair on the ball, and get those players of the Phoenix Rising facing their own goal and asking questions of the shape.
Well, Phoenix hopes this isn't the 9th time this year that they lose by a singular goal. Can they turn this around? A draw, maybe not enough. For Monterey Bay, they are on the cusp of grabbing a playoff spot going into the weekend. They've had these games in hand. A travel-heavy start and finish to their year. And Frank Yala has hit all the right buttons. He moved an outside back, maybe a wide midfielder from time to time, into the number 10. That's been the deciding moment. And the defense is solidified at just the right time for Monterey Bay. This may be the greatest comeback story to reach the postseason we've ever seen. Right up there with Oakland a year ago. Malik Badawi does the honors. How many more goals do we have in this one tonight? Monterey Bay in crisp and kelp. Phoenix in red and gold. 3-2 Monterey Bay entering the second half. Sejas, down goes King. Dawkins promptly takes over. Dawkins, save, Luke. It was on frame at all. 5 straight playoff appearances for Phoenix. Swaying in the wind right now. Rodriguez. The return. Rodriguez taking off the ball. Dawkins. Valesky.
Once again, Phoenix Rising needs to be extremely careful as they're trying to force turnovers in their attacking half. You can't leave be a foot race between Sam Gleadle, Kevin Lambert, and James Musa. You already got beaten twice already with the pure running from a deep line position. So you have to be extremely sure if you're going to push up, you have to win that ball and not let the transition moments come to fruition for Monterey Bay.
Sargis. Acquired on loan from DC United. Brought in him and Kranis late in the season. Try and get this center back role nailed down. Ultimately, they've moved to a 3-back under new management to try and do that. Has not been the case tonight. Jai. Sejas. Sargis. Young Player of the Year finalist in 2020. Flip down the line. Rodriguez dangerously. King got up. Lambert. Jai. Yellow comes out instantly.
Yellow card issued to Phoenix.
We want to know too.
Number 18.
That's Sejas. At this point, I'm going to take the public address announcer's word for it. Been handed faulty information before. I've learned my lesson. Robinson. Best football of his career, Frank Yallop said. Ball rolled through. Comes to Rodriguez. Boy, I've got news for Sejas. Back to a clean bill of health. Yeah, the public address announcer's getting the same faulty info. Apparently the yellow went to Jai. Don't trust anything anymore. This is the simulation after all. Gleadle wanted the return, never came. If Sejas had gotten that card, it would have been for being, I don't know, loitering. Anywho.
You can just see Juan Guerra tactically changing the way that his side is sitting defensively. Sejas is sitting far more deeper. Aiden Quinn's pushing a bit higher. That was lacking in that first half, just that presence right in front of that back three. to win those second balls. Getting beaten far too easy.
Moar. Williams chasing Siaha. Valesky pressing at Musa.
Brilliant work from Valesky.
Valesky sweeps it through now. Is it another for Monterey Bay? Fair. Good recovery. And a handball goes against Fair. Unreal. He was one touch away from a fourth for Union.
And again, it's pattern play at its finest for Frank Yellow's boys. The up, back, and through, the third man running. Moby Fair, no one tracks him, but it's this touch right there that takes him away. As you pass Ben Luke, you need to put that ball on target. Fancy your chances. Give credit to Darnell King, the recovery run at his finest. But once again, Phoenix Rising just slow to react, slow to understand the deep lying run, this time from Moby Fair. He goes freely. Unfortunate for Juan Guerra's boy, unable to pull the trigger and put this ball in the back of the net.
Well, this cat's got 9 lives. Sargis and King both getting up to the goal line or pressuring the ball that made it more difficult for Fair to actually pull the trigger.
But again, it's just very slow to understand and to react, to rotate. If one player gets beat, again, unable to cover each other.
Valesky again. Valesky is looking for Dawkins. Pinged forward. That is a gorgeous ball. Jai. Siaha.
Just gives you a different look when you play with wingbacks. This time it's Jai staying high and wide. As he gets beyond Kai Green, give credit to the big center back. Doesn't leave his feet and just rides his ball out. And then Siaha is quick to come off his line and understand. You see how explosive Phoenix Rising is. One ball over the top, over 50, 60 yards on a dime. Can change this game on its head.
Loom for Sargis. Yeah, that breakout 2020 season last year, they felt like, well, now he's on every team scouting report. They're watching him a lot closer. And he's starting to work his way through that. Sold to DC United over the offseason after 2 years as a pro at Sacramento. Signed a 3-year deal, and the tail end of this year sent on loan to Phoenix after a bit of time with DC and a bit of time with Loudon. King on the run. King brought that down. Williams. Sargis through, Roberts, Siaha. Quick switch, Quinn. Musa, Jai, Moar. Thrown forward, Rodriguez. Well, bounced up, no doubt.
Just feels different coming out of the break from Wangara's boy, Santi Moar, at the thick of everything. Getting on behind this Monterey back line far too easy. Very clever just to cut this back to Rodriguez. Just as time and space from Roberts closing down throws him off. It's always difficult. You're letting that ball come across. You need to let it go down. You can't go up and meet it. When you go up and meet it, your balance is all wrong. Once again, you love to see Santi Moar or Arturo Rodriguez getting on the same page. Once those guys get understanding underneath JJ Williams, a three-headed monster from Phoenix Rising, is going to be very difficult to deal with.
Bounces back to Siaha. Launches out to Robinson. Phoenix hasn't won on the road since May 28th at Hartford. They were in 4th place at the time. That's a yellow to Sargis. I am sure that's a yellow to Sargis.
Now 2 out of your back 3 for Phoenix Rising are on a yellow card. You have to be extremely careful. That is a reckless challenge. Sam Glito's facing the wrong way. There's no need to come through the back. Just move your feet. Use the sideline as another defender and trap him in there. No need for that rash challenge from that man. He has to be very disciplined now, him and James Musa. You have a lot of players running in around you. Very disciplined in your positioning. The challenges that you go into, there's no need to pick up a second silly yellow card.
Murphy rolled that along. Contact all ball. That must have been the perfect tackle. Valesky can't believe it. That was a rabbit out of the hat. Crowd's uproarious. Rodriguez trots ahead.
Straight off the training ground. I'll tell you what. He gets all of the ball.
Sejas
needs to be perfect. Take a look at that timely challenge. If he gets it any wrong, he's pointing to the spot. I think.
I don't know which member of Monterey Bay's bench. It was not Frank Yala, an assistant coach apparently, just shown a yellow card. Now might be a good time to just remind everyone who has a yellow card, because for some reason that's been in doubt tonight. Jai, Rodriguez, Sargis, and Musa for Phoenix, and unnamed assistant coach for Monterey Bay. Through. It's dangerous. There's still something there. Williams. That's Williams adjudicated. We've committed the foul. Well, you can see the difference between Williams on the field and Williams not in the majority of games since he's arrived. About a third of the season now. They haven't really gotten him the ball in really challenging places yet tonight.
And when he's going, he just does so much with and without the ball. Without the ball, he occupies the opposition center backs, that gives the space. The players underneath him, which tonight are Arturo Rodriguez and Santi Moar, to operate in. He stays high, he understands he doesn't need to be part of the build-up. Yes, he can drop back. He has a very soft feet for his size. But you want him to stay high. You want him to be that focal point to pull players in. He hasn't really got on the service that he would want, JJ Williams. It's been a very difficult game in the middle of the field for Phoenix Rising.
Ushered down to Robinson. Across to Dawkins. Dawkins back to the top of the 6. And the game of hacky sack ends. Williams. Whoa! Free kick, and now you got to start making decisions. If it is in fact a foul, that's an elevated leg. And to be fair, Williams drops his head down to try and make contact with the ball.
And these are always tricky as a center back. You're playing for the ball, but J.J. Williams drops his head. Kai Green gets all of J.J. Williams and none of the ball. Those are never fun. Kai Green is extremely lucky not to see yellow. I don't think there's any ill will there, but it is a foul in the end.
Quinn. Quinn collides with Gleedle. Will find its way through to Musa, who's still elevated up the field. Corner. Midnight in the East approaches. Phoenix still hasn't turned into a pumpkin. Monterey Bay, if this scoreline holds, is above the playoff line for the first time in franchise history. Corner, Phoenix. Lambert trying to extend for that. It wasn't to be. Expected goals, by the way. Phoenix 2.1, Monterey Bay 1.6. Penalties will help. Monterey Bay has made the most of their chances. Wow. Contact. Lambert. Lambert's booked. That's a yellow. So Lambert, Musa, and Sargis, as well as Jai and Rodriguez, are on cards.
It's just far too simple. It's just a throw-in over the top. He gets caught out of position, Kevin Lambert. And it is a foul. You could just see the contact, his left arm on the shoulder of Sam Gleedle, who's causing all sorts of problems for Phoenix Rising just with this pure running. How direct he is in this movement. Now it's a very dangerous situation for Monterey Bay.
See what Murphy has in mind. Robinson standing up there. Gleedle as well. He's gonna whip that in front. Rebound! Out to the penalty spot, past Dawkins. Gleedle, that's blocked by Sejas.
And these are the ones I was talking about earlier in this game. You put this on target, no one touches it. It's very tricky for a goalkeeper, and I think it hits off the post or hits off Lund.
Nodded down into midfield where Boone collected for Monterey Bay. Did appear to get a good piece of loot.
be very interesting if you're Frank Yelp to see what changes you do as this game goes on. You know the back three of Phoenix Rising all on yellow cards. You bring in another player, another attacking player to force the issue, make them make decisions, keep putting them on their heels. And Christian Cortez on the bench, Kone, Rebelart, Juan Martinez, players that are able to change this game in a matter of a second.
Walmer just becoming available again the last couple of weeks. Gleedle, Valesky, out to Boone, settles, Boone, curling, drops down to Jai. Then you've got Hurst, Jaunet, Antwi, Calistri, Farrell, and Anguiano available for Phoenix to try and turn this as well.
You can just see the spacing for Phoenix Rising. This is your left wing back playing as a center midfielder. You need to get him out of there. Let Sejas, let Quinn get on the ball.
Boone cuts in, wants the return, flicks it over to Dawkins. Steps in on Jai. Dawkins. Collected again, Robinson. Rolled ahead, touched over by Gleedle, Valesky, Robinson, Gleedle, Gleedle. Corner.
And it's three-man combination on this left-hand side for Monterey Bay. But once again, no one steps off of their line. This is Aiden Quinn having to come across the 18-yard box to close down Gleedle. Defensively, so many gaps between your lines. No one taking the initiative to close down space.
Ball across, snagged by Loon. Smashed forward from Moar. Drops down, and recovery by Robinson. Monterey Bay has won their last 4 games that they led at half. Phoenix for the season, 0-9-0. Have not gotten a single point from a trailing position at halftime. Still another 20 minutes to go. We're asking what kind of changes were coming. Walmer Martinez is going to hand his card to the 4th in a moment. Phoenix is going to the bench. Williams comes off. Here's Anguiano. Anguiano's 8th appearance. And Greg Hurst comes on as well. 5 goals on the season. Scotsman will try and be the answer here. Substitutions are presented by Prep Club Society.
We'll give you a different look going forward for Phoenix Rising. Greg Hurst is not a target man like J.J. Williams. He's very clever to go around the edges, and he's moving inside that 18-yard box. Very soft feet. So look for them to play combination plays with Santimora, Rodriguez off of Greg Hurst. Played a 3-man weave, and now we see Chase Boone. Juan Martinez coming in. Boone is very active on the left-hand side. You just see the praise that Frank Yelop went straight to him. To Juan Martinez, how quickly can he get in a rhythm and get himself comfortable to play himself into this game?
Martinez, the pride of Cal State, Monterey Bay. Gleedle on the run. Gleedle won't be caught. Gleedle crosses, clearance. Dawkins deflected. Out beyond Martinez. Murphy. Dawkins again. Dawkins It just feels like Phoenix is in a constant fire drill.
And even the last passage of play, as this ball pops out, who's the first player to get on that second ball? It's Dawkins. There's no Phoenix Rising player in the midfield tracking back over 20, 30 yards, doing their defensive duty, just putting themselves on the line. And James Murphy's having himself a day in the middle of the field. Great no-look pass around the corner to unleash Dawkins. It's just been very hard to play through the middle of the field for Juan Guerra's boys, whether it's someone dropping in, whether it's someone putting their foot on the ball and dictating tempo, taking the wind out of the sails of Monterey Bay.
King ran out of room. Yellow card to apparently Robinson, but I've learned to take nothing for granted. It's gone into the book for dissent. Brought down by Quinn. Moar. Does Moar have some magic in his boots tonight? Not yet. Martinez. 4 blue shirts in unison. Murphy outside. Donor back from Gleedle. Donor and line. By the way, if you're unfamiliar, haven't been watching a lot of games here in Seaside to this point, oftentimes there will be a little bit of fog or dew that accumulates as the night goes on. The temps here in Seaside go from the low to mid 70s during the day down into the upper 50s at night. That's been a pretty constant theme throughout the year. So the surface becomes a little slicker, the ball moves a little faster, some players lose their footing. Crossfield, header from Green. Roberts was ready to smash that home. Back heel by King to keep it in. It's to his detriment. It's Dawkins. Fair. Martinez. Loon.
It's a poor decision here from Darnell King. The time and place trying to be a bit cheeky, not in your defensive half. Results in a shot. Dawkins has been terrific on this left-hand side for Frank Gall. Very active defensive duties. The space that he picks up, those half spots between lines as well. Letting Robinson come around the corner as he pinches in, and vice versa.
Monterey Bay is sucking the life out of this game like a Dementor.
We just see the lack of movement in the middle third for Phoenix Rising. Anguiano and Quinn are caught on the same plane. No one else dropping back, and then now it's time with your striker. It's been lacking for Juan Guerra, just a different option to relieve this pressure that they've been under.
Hurst is broken through! Oh, what a goal! What a moment for Phoenix! Dream is alive! The Scotsman delivers!
And this is fantastic from Greg Hurst. He drops down to realize, I need to help my team break out of this pressure. And then he goes on himself, eludes 3 Monterey Bay players, and then it's pure class. He beats Siaha to that near post. Something about Greg Hurst, how clinical he is in and around that 18-yard box. Makes no mistake with this finish to draw this game even at 3-3 with 15 plus left.
Phoenix has never even gotten a point when trailing at halftime this year. Their 3rd equalizer tonight. Monterey Bay has had the playoff position snatched from their hands again. And has momentum shifted. Roberts, Fair, around Rodriguez. Is Monterey Bay going to regret the number of chances they created and failed to capitalize on?
And there's two things. We talk about the profile of Greg Kurtz, how he is different than J.J. Williams. Once the ball to his feet, but very good in tight spaces, as we've seen there. He drops down, just gives a different outlet to Sargis to play through, and then he does the rest. But then if you're Frank Gallup, you're going to be extremely frustrated with the lack of someone stepping off their line. Too many players watching as Greg Kurtz just keeps on taking real estate, keep advancing. You can't give him that time and space inside that 18-yard box. He's too good of a player, too good of a finisher, as he put on display to draw this game.
Turned over, Walmer Martinez crashes in. Advantage played. Not much advantage. Dawkins. Can Monterey Bay seize the moment again? Martinez, Murphy. Donor. Mowar in his sights. Lambert. Murphy. Jai. Free kick, Phoenix. Frank Gallup said this Phoenix team is dangerous. A very similar unit to this. Won a lot of games, more than any team in the league. Year after year, dominant performances. Will they unlock it? Rodriguez couldn't connect with Hurst. If he did, Hurst may have been ahead of the pack again. That was the first goal in the run of play in about 360 minutes by Phoenix. The two penalties earlier in this game. Pegiano. Rodriguez for King. Quinn. Settled by Jai. 4 gold shirts. Jai falls. Mowar! Even after the penalty was scored by Quinn, Mowar squared for goal to put it back in the net, and he missed it to the right. This time he misses to the left.
Just lacking confidence at the moment, Santi Mowar. Throughout this 2022 USL Championship season, he finds a brilliant little space to pick up the second ball, and he eludes his defender. How quick he is and explosive, just unable to get on target.
That ball didn't get to Gleadle. Slide in. Here come the Rising. Siphoned off by Green. Injured player down back in the penalty area. Monterey Bay is going to play this out. And that is a nightmare for Monterey Bay. Christian Valesky massaging the back of his right leg. I don't know a lot of sign language, Ricky, but I think I know that. Yeah, he's done. 2 goals on the night, the 9th and the 44th. 7 on the year. 52 goals in the regular season in his career. As he went, Monterey Bay went.
It's something you hate to see. If you're a soccer supporter, someone just pulls up without any contact. Now you bring Kone on. True target man. Very different profile from Valesky. So now you're going to look at runnings, the players running around him. Whether it's Martinez, Dawkins, Gleadle. He's going to occupy Musa, Lambert, and Sargis. Big physical presence up there. Now look for the real estate, the little pockets underneath and behind. It's going to be the key to success for Monterey Bay to break down this defensive unit of Phoenix Rising.
Martinez, Murphy. Monterey Bay playing with 10 for the moment due to Valesky's injury. Cross field, that's overcooked. Here's the change. Kone on. Eric Winalda first sort of brought him over, discovered that talent. He arrived at Bethlehem, played 2 years under Brendan Burke, now the Colorado Springs coach. Yallop got a further chance to look at him in Las Vegas. Spent last year in Iceland, and hip injuries have really been his undoing this year. Ball ahead, Hurst, offside, offside. It won't count. For a brief moment, it looked like Phoenix was ahead. Juan Guerra can't believe it.
Just a little bit of a glimpse of the potential that Juan Guerra wants his boys to play out. Through the middle, it's Greg Chris right in line, just a bit too eager in getting in behind. How good is that remaining Quinn to hit that first time, to break through lines? They have it there. They have the talent. Should have executed on a high level, Phoenix Rising.
Let's be honest, for Phoenix, a point's nice. That doesn't really move you much closer to the line. You'd be 6 points out with 4 to go. They came here for all 3. They need all 3. For Monterey Bay, a point moves you even with the playoff line, but tiebreakers as they are, still trailing and on the outside looking in. Phoenix is at 70% of the ball in the second half, and they're after it again. Moar tees this up, across now, and Rodriguez had it ripped off his foot by Robinson. Buckle up, this is the closest I've felt to a playoff game all year. Sargis. Roberts, well read. Kone.
The one difference for Phoenix Rising, as this ball turns over, just look at the numbers committed to go back. Something we did not see about 10 minutes ago. I think the profile of players in the middle of the field, whether it's Anguiano and Quinn now, complement each other a bit better.
King. Rolled ahead. Green did well. Donor. Martinez. Crowd to the edge of their seat every time he touches the ball. Murphy. Divvies out to Dawkins. Murphy. Donor. Gleedle. Both sides making changes.
Substitution Phoenix, number 33 for number 10.
Richard Amwee, game-tying goal against Orange County back on July the 2nd. One of the seminal moments in a year that's somewhat lacked in those for Phoenix.
For number 6, James Murphy.
Murphy comes off. That's another defender coming on for the midfielder. Brought on Hunter Gorski. That's the last change for Monterey Bay. 3 windows, 3 subs. They leave 2 to the cutting room floor. Substitutions tonight, presented by Prep Club Society. Offside.
Very interesting call. This Kone doesn't play on that initial action. If you're going to call offside, you have to call it there. If this ball comes back again, then you call. Or a bit of a head scratcher of a officiating decision there.
Yeah. Antwi. Quinn. Levied off for King. Back by Gorski. Musa. Turned right over to Kone. Kone, he lost his footing of his own volition. Hurst, dynamically through midfield. 100 ticks to go, plus stoppage. It's the kind of matchup you wish you could see for another 30 minutes in a month's time. Regrettably, the standings right now indicate only one, if either, can get in. Dummied through, Gorski. Bounces through, Gleedle! Gleedle trying to hold on, Kone! Kone goes down! Penalty! Penalty, Monterey Bay! The first they've won all year! Unreal! The third penalty given in the game!
And once again, it's Gleedle at the thick of everything. As this ball comes across, Kone gets there before Musa. It is a PK, but once again, the inability to deal with this direct running from Gleedle has been the nightmare of Phoenix Rising. Clear as day there. Kone gets there before Musa feels the contact, and it's an opportunity for Monterey Bay to win it in the 90th minute.
By the time he strikes this ball, it's stoppage time. 3 added minutes, and maybe some more. Kone plants the ball. 3 goals this year. No one has taken a penalty for Monterey Bay in their history. Has any kick been more important to Monterey Bay Football Club than this kick right now? Kone! Oh, he missed it! He missed it! Can you believe it? Despair. Utter anguish.
He likes to go for power and tries to close his hips at the last moment. And when you do that, you need to be extremely sure that your head is over the ball, your body's over the ball. His balance is all off. He's leaning back, and that's why you see it raise over the bar. He's gonna want this one back, Kone. He knows he should do better, and he could do better. What an opportunity that goes to the wayside for Monterey Bay to walk out of here with 3 points.
The winner tonight, if it finishes 3-3, is RGV. Maybe Oakland, but certainly neither of these teams. Kone slides in. How could you not be packed with empathy in that moment for Kone? Maybe his moment is still yet to arrive. Bounced right across his face.
As this ball comes across, it's always difficult for a striker. Great ball in from Done, but you think Chargers is going to do better with it. You have to be opportunistic. You have to create your own luck at some times. Get any sort of contact on that. So another one just goes by.
Are these 40 seconds the personification of Phoenix's margin for error the rest of the way? Can Monterey Bay pull a victory from the jaws of a crushing draw? Robinson, Kone.
This is the challenge as a striker. Yes, you missed the penalty shot that should hit the back of the net. But what's this next play look like? It's all about the mental game.
We've gone the 3 minutes, headed to Loot. First glance at the watch. What a 3-3 draw it was. Neither side got what they came for. Kone is devastated. The penalty gone awry in stoppage time. His teammates can barely console him. It's a 3-3 draw. Monterey Bay remains at the playoff line. Phoenix fails to climb back into contention. And one of the most stunning conclusions to a regular season match all year. And how can your heart not break watching this? Valesky injured, Kone steps in. Maybe his moment will come. Finishes 3-3. We wrap it up after these messages. Welcome back to Seaside. Most every player on the Monterey Bay team went to Sekou Kone trying to provide some measure of consolation. The full Iberian international devastated As Hugh Roberts and the rest of the team commend the fans on their efforts tonight. Finishes 3-3. Let's wrap this one up with highlights galore. We start in the 9th minute of play. Gleedle feeds Valesky 1-0.
And he was the instigator of everything. Just appear running from a deep line position, testing the shape, running in behind. Musa Lambert and Sarr just unable to deal with him. But the response to Phoenix Rising, not once but twice, was extremely good. Winning 2 PKs, this time it's Jai getting the better of Donor. Yes, it's maybe a soft PK, but that left arm is always going to get you in trouble. Aiden Quinn steps up very comfortably, just puts it down the middle of the field, sends Siaha the wrong way. We have Monterey Bay once again, textbook, up, back, and through, third man running, and it's outside back Robinson getting into the final third, and he finishes it like a striker. How composed he is, just passing it by Ben Luton, nothing he can do. But then it can't be another PK, can it? Yes, it can. Kai Green, again, it's that left arm that catches Arturo Rodriguez, and it's this man once again, Aiden Quinn, right before. You think he can't do it again? Yes, he can. He closes up his hips, puts it to the top corner, sends Siaha the wrong way. But right before halftime, the inability for Phoenix Rising to deal with set pieces was something that Wangare needs to be very frustrated about. Valesky pinballs around, he's there at the doorstep and puts it into the back of the net. This is just pure individual brilliance here from Greg Hurst. As he comes in, he drops back, he really starts his play, unlocks the back line of Monterey Bay. Too many players looking who's going to do it, and this game really changes. Again, it's Gleedle at the thick of it, just his pure running, gets Sargis, so Kone gets there before Musa to win it at the death, to put this side above the playoff line, and he gets it all wrong. Head back, leaning back, frustration, heartbreak for Kone and the Monterey Bay.
Here's a look at the full-time stats and the chance for your thoughts, Ricky, because I said it during the game. I don't remember a match all year that felt like this.
You just see the quality that was on display, how much it means, and you really felt it from watching it, from playing it, from being in the facility. Monterey Bay, I think, deserved more from this game. Just the inability to, very dicey, soft PKs, putting their arm around, needs to be better for Frankie Alp's boy. But then you can't let Greg Hurst just get this ball in about 20 yards out, dice through the whole back line and put this ball in the back of the net. But Phoenix Rising needs to clean up their back line. Pure running was a nightmare, and it's far too easy to get in behind and ask questions of Ben Luton. And give credit to Ben Luton. If he wasn't on the field, this game could have been 5-0 for Monterey Bay.
All right, there were only 3 games tonight. This was the only one out west. So here's a look at the standings. The top 7 remain unchanged. RGV will face Charleston on Friday night. Monterey Bay will look forward to a game at Miami on the weekend. They do not have time to think about this, and they don't have time for Christian Valesky to get his apparent right hamstring injury right.
And what he's going to look like against Monterey Bay. But like you alluded to, Mike, I think RGV is the winner of tonight's game. They didn't even have to step a foot. Now they need to take care of business against Charleston Battery, but you just see how tight it is. The margin of error is just so thin in this Western Conference, and every single game matters. Every single play, every single minute in this Western Conference matters.
And meanwhile, Phoenix 6 points out, 4 games to go. And for them to save their season, it's going to be at Sacramento. And then they can hope they're still alive for Red Bull, RGV, and Atlanta too. Monterey Bay thrills the fans here. Phoenix all over the place, but they equalize 3 times over and salvage a point. Their first point when trailing at halftime all season long. For Ricky Lopez, that's been our entire team at home and abroad. Mike Watts saying so long from Seaside.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.